3, 2, 1, go. All right. Welcome back, everybody. We have Weasol in green playing the Sicilians, and he will be up against Firescreamtv in the blue playing with the Mayans. So an interesting Civ matchup here. Especially, I feel like decent for Sicilians. Can't really complain about going up against Mayans, I feel like. But we'll see how this works out. Map's looking pretty good for both. Pretty wallable for Weasol here, should he so choose. There's a nice cliff up top can use. And here some gold. His fours are also in the back of his base, so less likely to that pesky flame. But on the other side here, Firescream's base a lot more open, and it looks like a little bit more susceptible to a potential raid here on the north. But all in all, nice gen for both players.
Yeah, I mean, you say Firescream is open here, but he's got a super easy wall up to the bottom of his TC. The other side is kind of wide open, but a super easy wall up on one half plus a back gold. That's my criteria for a good map. You know, he can pretty reliably in Feudal Age wall to the TC and have his gold safe.
Yeah, he does have two relics that are like right behind him as well. His opponent is very unlikely to be able to grab those, so all in all, can't complain. If you wanted to go for big walls, could wall up from cliff to cliff over here and be in a fairly good position as well. But what do you think about the Mayan-Sicilian matchup here?
Well, I mean, Sicilian's biggest thing to consider with Civ matchups is, of course, the fact that they take reduced bonus damage. I don't think that Mayans are going to be unusually dependent on bonus damage in this matchup. Ideally, they're just going to be using non-counter units, you know, crossbows, eagles, plumes. So Sicilian's reduced bonus damage I don't think is particularly strong against them. I can't say that I'm actually familiar with how the matchup plays, but that's my sense of things.
Gotcha. Well, the thing for me is, with Mayans, you're likely going to see Archer. We have Cavalier with the best Pierce armor in the game available. Additionally, we have the Sergeant, who can match up pretty decently against the Eagle. Regardless of the bonus damage, I feel like they have very good counters. Could be something that we have to pay attention to here. And to address Maddie in chat here, this is the first bracket, but this is the quarterfinals we're in now. So,
and I will give an additional shout out to Maddie. I mistook him as somebody who joined in that big raid a few days ago, but he's actually my IRL friend, and I do appreciate his support very much.
Good to have you, sir. Welcome. Yeah, so I feel like Mayans, though, you always have to be careful of them. We've seen a lot of Mayans in this bracket altogether, especially with no ban system we have in place. So a lot of civs that would normally get banned in a lot of situations, we're just not seeing that because of the draft itself, which has been kind of refreshing not having that issue. And we've seen a lot of civs that we may have not seen, and it has provided quite the entertaining civ matchups.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy with how the no bans rule set plays out. I mean, like, these are all, you know, people who are just playing for fun. It sucks so much to prep a civ or a strat and then not get to play it just because the other guy bans it. Being able to, essentially guarantee you can play the civs and maps that you want is very nice.
Yeah, it's definitely been nice. It's been refreshing, too. I've always messed around with bans and stuff in all the tournaments that I've hosted, and I actually really like this a lot better because, like you said, players can prepare, and the only way they don't get their civ is if their opponent picks the civ before them. So, with that said, though, with the 9 maps available in the pool, it's going to be difficult for players to not be prepared for at least a few of those and have some backup civs in mind. So, going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. We have seen both of these players win a set and been interesting in the lead up to this one to see how these guys perform. Winner of this will move on to face someone at Yo-Yo at the moment. Is it Yo-Yo, dude?
It is, I'm sure. I mean, if Yo-Yo's not here now, I'm sure that he'll watch the rec at some point. He's taking this seriously. I happen to know that, yeah, he's already scouting for the next round. That kid is in it to win it for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be real fun to see who moves on to face him then. Obviously, Yo-Yo Dude has had some interesting games thus far, and he's grown a lot whilst playing. He had his elo up a good bit as well, so good practice and playing a lot of the ladder at the same time, so will be very interesting to see what happens. What's up, I will heal you. I see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, hey, I will heal you.
Sorry, I missed the first one. I didn't see it, but we have a drush coming in here for Firescreamtv, and I know for certain that Weasol hates when he gets drushed, so we'll have to see how this works out for him here. I mean, this is likely going to be Man-at-Arms. Just needs a little bit more gold here. He does have it, but no click just yet, so maybe he is just going to shift into archers behind this.
Nah, he's got to click Man-at-Arms. It would be it's just so valuable. He's got it primed.
I mean, it's 100 food and 40 gold. He's had that for a good bit now, so we'll see if he clicks it. I think it's worth it in this position, 100%, but he may feel otherwise. It will be double stable for Weasol and the Sicilians, and we'll see. Double stable is a big investment here. The monkey also here for Firescreamtv, and if we take a quick look at the scouting, Weasol, we can see what Weasol sees here. He does see the monkey there, has yet to see the drush coming in, but should be there pretty soon. Monkey,
yeah, very sneaky movement on the drush coming in through the back door like this.
Weasol at the same time is trying to take a Vil out, will lose his monkey. Monkey also goes it down for Firescream at the same time. The Man-at-Arms are here.
Yeah. And
they're
yeah, this
separated.
is gonna This should wreck Weasol. I saw the way he reacted to that monkey. He pulled his entire wood line. If Firescream knows how to dance with these Men-at-Arms, you know, come in, go out, he can probably kill some Vils and idle this entire wood line for a while.
Yeah, I mean, the scouts are near. They are headed out right now, which is kind of unfortunate. So we'll see what happens, what kind of reaction we have here for Weasol.
I bet he turns the scouts around.
Yeah, scouts are definitely coming back and see on the minimap. Gonna fight here. Does take out one. Losing Vils here.
It's not the worst, you know. If I were Firescream, I would have, you know, tried to toy with him a bit more there rather than just take the straight trade. But I feel like both players are probably pretty happy with that. Firescream got his Vil kill. It's only one Vil kill? Ooh, that's actually kind of... That's pretty poor performance for 3 Men-at-Arms at this phase.
It was a fairly good exchange for Weasol, honestly. Only one though get lost. Pretty impressive. So 4 scouts at home still for Weasol. Weasol is pretty much walled off, minus this area the scouts are going through now. He's going to send a Vil there now. He is open on the front. It's only 3 archers. Weasol should be able to clean that up, no problem, with the scouts being here. Weasol actually investing into more scouts as well. So
yeah, this is some poor this is some poor mileage on these archers here. When you send out this small of numbers, you know, you should almost expect this to happen. You got to accompany those with a spear or something. And I think he probably had already seen the scouts, possibly. So I kind of don't understand that decision to send out, you know, such a small group.
I agree. He will be open for the most part at home. He's got a big attempted wall off with a lot of holes. Does have a spear now with some archers, but against Sicilians, those spears don't do a whole lot. So Weasol should be able to take this fight, I think, decently, but see what happens. Weasol behind this, sitting on 13 farms at the moment, 14 on food. Scout's going to be taken down here, and honestly, I think these archers could go down as well.
I would well, you know what? I think they can actually trade versus this if microed properly.
Yeah,
and Weasol recognize that and runs.
You have a Vil here getting hit by this scout. I don't think it'll go down, but this is nice value from one scout. Actually, it might go down. Yeah, Weasel sacrificed the scout for it. So 1-to-1 KD on the economy. Firescream gonna head forward. Weasel is still open on the front here, but just more scouts. Looks like he's created another additional one, but no skirmishers, no archery range. Another stable, so it will be 3 stables actually. It goes up. Feels like quite the investment onto scouts here.
Yep, pretty serious feudal investment by both players, but idle time, the idle TC that is definitely worth noting. Weasel has a pretty considerable eco lead just based on that.
Yeah, lots of idle time here for Firescream. He's obviously been microing these archers a good bit. This could do a lot of damage though. These archers do have fletching. There's only 2 scouts, but whittling down the numbers, and as long as Weasel keeps producing scouts, he should be able to push this back. Looks like now, and be just fine. But overall, like you said, that idle time is coming into effect pretty heavily here. Weasel also getting bloodlines now, so his scouts can tank a little bit more.
Yeah, it's just so... I mean, both players are just going into these attacks with such small numbers. I mean, I guess they're decently matched in each engagement, but if either player waited to have either just a couple more scouts or 4 more archers to move out, it seems like they'd be doing a lot better.
And these archers that you're talking about are coming across the map right now. Actually, 6 more of them. So it feels really awkward, but both players are very heavily investing into feudal. The problem for Firescream now is he's got the villager disadvantage. These scouts have +1 defense, +1 attack, and bloodlines. Archers only have fletching going for them right now, so they will trade decently, but you are still trading gold units for trash units.
At this phase of the game, I think the concept of gold preservation doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's not great. It's definitely a fine exchange, but you still don't really want to lose your archer mass at any point, and this early he's not getting a whole lot of reward for it. I mean,
for sure.
Weasel
Weasel just straight up refusing to add an archery range and a couple skirms, though. You know, mixing that in would absolutely shut this down.
Yeah, he actually has one. It is cute. He does have skirms, but it's just been late. I don't think he expected such feudal aggression here, especially with the amount of small archers sent forward. Now that said, Firescream is almost able to click up. He's almost full walled at home. Does have his buildings, but again, the idle TC time creeping up. There it is, click now. So he's going to be quite a ways behind as far as villager count goes. But he does have wheelbarrow. Getting some upgrades now. Skirm numbers are out though. Looks like we're going to add 2 more archery ranges, so this is going to be a 1 TC 4 range play.
I mean, Firescream's signature seems to be to make more production buildings than he needs. I don't know if he's going to queue all these right away, but yeah, he's going to definitely be hitting hard with the crossbows in Castle Age. I actually like his position here a lot, though it sucks to throw these 2 units away.
Yeah, losing more archer numbers is kind of been the issue at the moment, but the production buildings, we've seen players not make enough, and we've seen Firescream just make too many. So we'll see how it works out for him here. Weasel is double walled, and he will have skirmishers at home. They are somewhere right in front of his base. I just can't see green map, obviously. Scouts do get in here and will pick off at least 1 villager. Might be 2. He's focusing the weakest Vil. Yeah, it will be 2.
Yeah, Firescream, he's come forward at a good time to take advantage of the Castle Age power spike, but he's just hitting the walls in an area that's not vulnerable. This number of archers, soon to be crossbows, just cannot take down a house fast enough to be able to count on being able to do any damage once he gets in.
That and Weasel continued to make scouts. He has 6 scouts behind this. He has skirmishers behind this still. Bot Canero just now coming in. No crossbow upgrade just yet. There it is. It was probably queued behind an archer. So this is actually a great time for Weasel to take this fight.
Yep, if he can manage to take it in the next 20 seconds.
Yeah, and it looks like he is going to take it just in time. Botkin was not even in yet, but it will come in. But still, this is just buying Weasol time, as he'll be able to click up to the Castle Age here in a second. And then
very nice micro there by both players. Weasol could have lost everything pretty easily, and yeah, Firescream backing up the hill, stopping to shoot, pretty clean.
Yeah, and with 4 ranges, only a few of them in use right now. No extra town centers behind this, and we do have a very, very defensive Siege Workshop for Firescreamtv. I hate this Siege Workshop.
It's weird for sure. I mean, it's a defensive Siege Workshop. It's, gonna be good for repelling enemy attacks on his wall. Okay, he's also making front one. I guess Firescream just loves to make. Oh, he deleted the back one.
Bravo! Thank goodness. This is good. Donjon defense with some house walls here for Weasol to buy him even more time. I actually like this move. He'll still have enough for a TC should he choose to go after one. Weasol does scout the Siege Workshop. Is just delaying with these scouts at the moment. Donjon will be up. This area will be pretty secure now.
Yep, and Firescream has a pretty scary number of crossbows here. With the siege to back it up, that Donjon will kind of stop the push dead, however, so it's a little bit wasted here. But, with enough circling around, he should be able to find a good angle of attack.
Yeah, and the economy numbers just ever in the favor of Weasol here. They'll be up by 8 vills in the Castle Age. I think he can drop another TC if he wants to. He had so much res he could have actually clicked Imp there for a second as well. He will go for +2 defense, and he has queued quite a few knights here. Donjon doing his job. Knights will come at a decent time, I believe. Oh, he's gonna dive this? Oh, is he gonna dive this?
I dig it, man. He spent so much getting this army forward. He's gonna sit under it? Now that I don't quite get.
Yeah, and now the knights are here. This push is stopped. And that is very rough, as Botcanero is going to come in here for Weasol as well. He has skirmishers in this, which is nice, because when they pop out, it will actually help out.
That Donjon's going down faster to the crossbows than I think, but Firescream has failed to keep them within one tile of it, so he's just taking a lot of Donjon hits to the face there.
Oh yeah, losing quite a bit here. Donjon has actually killed 4 crossbows already, and they will dive here. Weasol will have to address this, but now he has quite the Knights massed. He is losing a lot of vills, but this up for sure.
Yeah, unless he can find a hole in the wood, and I actually see a 1-tile hole in the wood to the right. If he can slide into there, man, he should actually be able to trade pretty effectively. There's one that's even closer to them, but they didn't go into it. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, he's just trying to get all the value he can here. But she's done a great job. He is actually going to take the villager lead momentarily. And unfortunate thing is that was a huge investment. But at least he was able to get a few good vill kills out of the deal.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most that you can hope for from that army once it's already wrapped around. That was kind of what I was thinking he was going to do when he first dove the Donjon. And yeah, like you said, he's even up the vills. I think that's actually pretty acceptable for Firescream.
Yeah. Now the real question is, can he withstand the knights with +2/+1 and +2 coming in for attack? Even the pikemen have no upgrades, so Sicilian knights will actually crush those pikemen. Weasol doing some scouting, trying to find the army. Like,
Sicilian knights are so strong, and this is the only time I'm ever going to say this, but whenever we're talking about the Donjon, I think of that movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Don John. I don't know if you ever saw it.
No. But that's not too surprising. I don't really watch many movies, so. But an interesting thing, and I feel like we need to have a meme now.
Yeah, I saw a meme on it back on the AOE subreddit at some point.
Nice.
I know some people who like the movie, though I didn't care for it myself.
Fair enough. 3 TCs now behind this for Firescream, and he is dropping a lot of farming economy. It looks like he's going to try to boom. Weasol obviously has 2 TCs already. And this fight is going to be definitely in favor of the crossbow pike army, but he's not in any way to push right now, which is kind of awkward. Weasol trying to stonewall behind this. This Vill's probably going to die. I don't even know if she's going to take and get this down in time. There still will be the hole. The Weasol, have the Donjon, and a few germs that are not upgraded in defense. And Weasel's just going to come in behind this, actually. This army's trapped in here now.
Ooh, this is very dangerous. If he tries to dive again, it won't turn out as well as last time. Weasel's got... I mean, this army of knights is going to easily clean up these crossbows.
Yep, Donjon just adding to the damage. It's killed 9 crossbows already, by the way, so that Donjon has been in an excellent place. Gonna be able to tuck these in here, but Weasel's gonna get enough of us around here. It's not gonna matter. These knights are so good here in this position, and that's just huge losses for Firescream.
Yeah, I don't know what to do against Sicilian Knights personally. I mean, do you still just go for the counter even though it's like only half as effective?
I think you have to go for the counter if you are a Mezzo Civ. I don't really think you have a better option here. But
yeah,
they're so difficult because against pikes, they do no damage really in comparison to a regular knight. But I think if you have the access to knights, you go knights. Go your own knights and just try to out produce essentially.
Yeah, when I say do you go for the counter, I'm referring to pikemen. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I feel like with Mezzo you have to. You can add archers as well, use pikemen for the field. But
maybe some monks, that's like the one counter that isn't nerfed.
Yeah, monks counter everything, so although it does get nerfed in late game.
Just because it's hard to get a sufficient number of conversions?
No, because they have a resistance after you research First Crusades, like the Teutons.
Really? Oh man.
Yep. They're very powerful. Honestly, if anything, if any unit needs nerfed, it may be the Sicilian Knights. Castle for Weasel gonna come up on this hill. He's gonna try to secure this hill. Oh, I hate it too. If anything, put it over here, next to your.
Honestly, dude, I would
economy.
just look at the. I would look at the hills in the middle of the map and just slam it there. As a good rule of thumb, hills in the middle of the map are good spots for castles. He would be right. I mean, he would be right to assume that he has a small economic edge. He's got both farm upgrades while his opponent has none, plus he's up a couple bills. If you have a castle in the middle of the map and you get a faster imp, I mean, you can kind of use it as your launching point for your game-ending push quite easily. Whereas with this castle, I don't know what he's doing with this one, honestly. It doesn't defend any of his base, it doesn't defend any future resources, it's not good for attack. I'm truly baffled by this castle the more I analyze it.
Yeah. I could see a defensive castle, like I said, near his town center and his economy, but up here I don't feel like this is a great position. But it is going to be a castle on a hill, so not even really on the top of the hill, but you know, see. Knight numbers are kind of scary now. Got 31 of them, and 28 of them are currently going forward. There are a lot of pikes and crossbows here. I kind of feel like Weasel should have just gone imp here, as there's a hole, and Weasel's gonna dive. So, this will be very difficult for Firescream to deal with. He does have the military here, but this can split, and Weasel's gonna do a good job splitting the economy up, or the knights up into the economy. There are 20 vills under this town center that could go down here. And we'll watch the Eco KD go here as knights find a wood line and are under this town center.
And Matt suggested might be some psychological play to put the castle there. I think it's just hasty, man. He just didn't... You know, you're trying to do 100 things at once. Sometimes you make weird decisions.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of vills go down here. A lot of knights also start with 28 down to 21 already. The Eco KD is now 17 to 11. So he has a 15 or 12 villager advantage now. Looking good for Weasel as he's going to the Imperial Age, and he gets these upgrades on these. He a very difficult thing to deal with. The
but he
archers
hasn't.
won't do much.
You say archers won't do much, but he has 31 of them. This attack really hasn't done anything to dwindle those numbers, and as the Mayans player, building up a high number of Arbalest is something you're definitely looking to do.
True, but more pierce armor than a paladin on a cavalier.
Okay, yeah, I forgot about that.
It is +6 pierce armor on a cavalier. He's got 17 of them at home. He's on the way to Imp. His opponent could click Imp, has not clicked Imp yet. There it comes. And he's currently running around in his base defending. Weasol will have plenty of time to get these upgrades in, and don't think that even a group of 60 Arbs save Firescream at this point. May delay it, but Weasel's got a hell of an economy behind here. 39 farmers.
His second castle is better than the first, but still, man, like, there's a really juicy hill just in the dead center of the map, which is where I would have loved to see it.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. I mean, we'll see what happens here, but it's clear we are going to see Cavalier, or so I think, like have been researched. Maybe we're just going to have him raid him to death? I don't know.
I mean, Weasel is some kind of open, but yeah, like, fundamentally he's going to be making a unit in the Sicilian Cavalier that Firescream's Civ kind of doesn't have the best counter to.
Yeah, and here comes a castle on the hill in the middle for Firescream, which is a great castle on a hill, but see what happens here. These houses keep getting destroyed for Firescream. He's just be building them for vision, and Weasel just taking them out. I can understand that. Cavalier on its way in, +4 defense. Gotta see the Halberd upgrade for these to be truly fully upgraded. But these are still going to be quite difficult to deal with, as just now foraging is coming in for the pikemen here.
Yep, I guess those attack upgrades matter more than against other civs because, you know, you can't bank totally on the bonus damage. But I think Halbs, like, don't Halbs do like 40 bonus damage to cavalry? You know, even just half of that is still probably extremely cost effective if you can manage to get Halbs engaging.
I don't think it's 40. I think it's like 15.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like 40 against elephants.
Okay, that must be what I'm thinking. Let me actually back check myself real quick.
I mean, I'm not 100% on that either, but nonetheless, another castle going to come down here for Firescream. The Cavalier upgrade about to hit, and Weasel is just going to run by this castle and try to run into the base again, it looks like. But he will be cut off here. Arb upgrade comes in. Weasel's running around. These do not have the Halberd upgrade yet. They only have... They have 6 pierce armor, so maybe they have 8 pierce armor after? I don't know the tech well enough, guys. That's all this is. Weasel choosing to fight under the castle fire with all these Arbalest here. And maybe I missed the tech coming in because he's just destroying these.
Yep, and I did just check. It's 32 bonus damage from a Halb to Cavalier.
Okay. What is it against an elephant?
So it says that it's only 28 versus a war elephant, and it doesn't say about other elephants.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens nonetheless. Neither player with relics. Firescream has a ton of idle TC time. He's losing the villager count. More and more units being produced for Weasel here as he's adding in some light cav. Trebuchets already produced, 1 in each castle. And the Cavalier haven't done a lot of damage, but they have done enough to force his opponent into a lot of upgrades. And Halberdier is on its way in now. Map control, very much in the favor of Weasel.
Yeah, Halb has to be his only choice. I mean, if Halb doesn't trade well with these Cavalier, then I feel like it's just a broken unit, man.
Yeah, and Weasel's trying to get in here. There's 28 Halbs here and only 9 Cavalier that are previously engaged, so Weasel's just going to lose these here, but He is sneaking a siege workshop in the south.
Yeah, you know what? Those arbs are actually doing work against them. They're definitely not tanking it as well as we were kind of hyping them up for, getting easily two-shotted by this mass.
Well, he doesn't have halberd yet either, so they're not fully upgraded.
Okay.
But he also has the res to do anything he wants to, and he's going to go Hoardings, Capped Ram, and he's going to build another castle forward. He is grabbing relics now. I do see a monk out here grabbing some relics. And then the Eagle Switch coming behind this, which I don't really like, but I guess you gotta do what you gotta do here. Don't really have any other options.
How else are you going to hurt the opponent's eco? Getting a few eagles in there, maybe even getting a nice sneaky barracks to stream some in, seems like the only conceivable way to do damage to the opponent, because you don't just want to grind at the front while they're able to, in addition to grinding, send a few, cavalry units around to raid you.
Yeah. Now, Weasel does have quite the military force here, as does Firescreamtv, but the value of that force is much greater for Weasel here. Don't have that up. There it is, down in the bottom though. 58.80 to 33.70 just changed, but only 28.
Yep, his Weasel happily dives this, but he's actually taking pretty considerable losses before he engages. Firescream should just keep kiting this for sure. You at no point want to stand still and let these units encircle you.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to lose a castle in the process, but he is doing a good job trading against the military. The halbs just melt. There's not enough of them massed up. The ARB numbers have been decreased, but only slightly. I mean, this is a good push, and if he can continue pushing, as Siege Ram is already pushing in the south. So Weasel's going to push with Siege Ram in the south. He's going to take out Trebs with the Light Cav here.
I foresee a GG here for sure, man. This is just demoralizing.
Now, all of the Arbalest have gone down. He was not able to micro them back enough. And Trebs should be moving forward. Siege Rams battering down with Vills, but even the Elite Eagle Warrior switch beam here isn't going to be enough to save him at this point.
Yeah, Firescream, he's been playing a lot these days. I know he streams. He's no noob. The writing is on the wall that he is dead here. I suppose he's got a small raiding force. So long as that's alive, there's a chance Weasel doesn't notice it. But as I say that, the Cavalier descend upon it.
Yeah, and the Cavalier will just destroy the Eagles. There's too many of them to deal with. Castle going down. There's another 19 Cav units going to be headed into the economy here. Still sending Siege Ram. Here comes the Sergeants as well to help deal with the villagers and the infantry. And it's looking worse and worse here for Firescreamtv. And I predict, again, like you said, a GG soon in our future.
Yeah, I'll stop calling for it, but it's imminent.
I mean, the villager pop has gone down quite a massive number. There's 60 military to 24. The score pretty much tells the story. The hidden base has been discovered as Weasel places a very, very questionable lumber camp at best. 7 tiles away from the trees, but at least it's closer than it would have been, right?
I mean, it's going to keep the Vills working, and, I guess it just goes to show how many things he's doing at once, because I know Weasel is well aware himself of how inefficient that is.
Yeah, and the Vil taking this TC has been taken out. These Eagles and Howls being produced here, these won't last long. All the military attention is now over here for Weasel, as he's just building up siege like the front.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Firescream, you must have a sense that your opponent is nearly pop-capped, while you are struggling to field pretty much any standing military. You've lost all your castles. I mean, I guess he's just probably not stepping back and really weighing everything, but if you were to ask him to analyze his own position and pause for a minute, he would probably agree that there's no hope here, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very good beginning game for him. I wouldn't be too upset about the matter. Sicilians, again, I don't know what you do against them. I really don't. GG does come in here, so Weasel will take game number 1. Statistics look pretty much as we expect them to. Weasel had the economic advantage. KD was in his favor, obviously. Uptime's decently good, different, but faster to imp, faster those upgrades, and those Cavalier, man, I don't know what you do to them.
I know Janissaries trade well versus them. But in this Civ matchup, yes, I also don't know what you do.
Yeah, I'm baffled. I try to pick them and play them just because I don't want to have to play against them in this situation.
I still got to buy that expansion, man. I know I said I'd do it last time.
That would probably be for the best, sir.
Yeah, if I'm spending all this time casting and everything, I might as well know what I'm talking about.
Well, it's always good to have the expansion. That way you can have that experience with those civs to choose if you like them or not, right? So.
Yep. And I also bought the most recent expansion, and I play Poles and Bohemians like all the time. So it would stand to reason I would probably play these other new civs quite a bit.
Absolutely. So we are going to move on to game number 2.
Cool.
Lanes, right? Monkey lanes.
Let me confirm. Monkey lanes, yes.
Perfect. Loading in, and at 5 seconds when you're ready.
Count me down.
All right. Firescreamtv, keeping with the Mezzo Civilization selections, we will have the Aztecs here in blue, and then we will have a Weasel here with the Malians in the green. So, an interesting civ choice. I don't recall seeing Malians too often on this map at the moment, but we'll see how this works out. Kind of surprised. We got a little bit different civ matchup here. We've seen Aztecs here before. Italians, I honestly don't know if we've seen at all. But
yeah, I don't recall seeing them here at all, but I think that this is a nice map for their swords line to shine. I mean, obviously the men-at-arms play is always strong. With archers kind of being the meta here, it's nice to be able to produce those champ scarls. Malians are a very decently rounded civ as well. They're kind of never too objectionable. So, I certainly won't criticize the pick, and maybe it's actually something worth considering in the future.
yeah, I think, like you said, the infantry line with their pierce armor, knowing that a lot of players have been going very heavy archer line, it must really be considered a counter civ in this position. They do have their own arbs and crossbows. They don't get bracer. You get the last defense upgrade, and you have best champions in regards to pierce armor. And you have, what is the attack for these guys? It gives the attack, Farimba. Right? So, lots of bonuses going for them. Cheaper wood buildings, also a nice bonus.
Yep, Weasel with some weird walls here too. I would assume that he's highly familiar with the map, so I wonder what he's thinking with this. It's just obviously the best thing to do to wall straight across your front. Trying to do pretty much any other shape is just not forward thinking, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he's doing it right to his golds. Like, if archers come in against him, what do you do here? You lose both of those golds? It just feels risky. Obviously, if they were to break through, that's one thing, but so weird.
Yep, I mean, it kind of protects his wood line. It makes it... Maybe he just wants to half wall his base, which I think is a reasonable approach. Also, you can, wall half your base to the TC and, force your opponent to go the long way around if they want to hit you. But yeah, I don't dig it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Ireland calling, and I Will Heal You having a bit of a debate about the best map in the pool.
yeah,
And yeah, it's been fun. I love the custom maps. I love that we don't have metas on them, and we are learning more and more about them as we go.
yep. Eh,
Go
I
ahead.
do want to shout out Ireland calling. I think he might be the one guy from the raid who's stuck around to to regularly watch the Banano Open Cup, which I appreciate. And also, I was very strongly considering removing water from Banana for the next bracket.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a little bit. It's definitely an option. I mean, the water meta on Banana was never really the designed goal. We already have Banana Cove, which is strongly water meta map. So I am
Yeah,
definitely
I
not
mean,
opposed to us moving water from the map.
yeah, and if I wanted to like formally describe the problem with water, I don't think there's any other map. I guess some of the maps with bog terrain, but it's to have a map where every inch of land is rangeable by galleys, especially when the land is already so narrow. I don't know, man. Galleys just wreck. You
Yeah.
know, there's just one unit that's so dominant if you can get a large mass of them. And that being said, you know, I'm sure that there could still be a lot of interesting games on it. I've actually had practice games where I lose water but still win the land. I was practicing against lower rated players though, so I might have been able to get away with some stuff that you wouldn't see in competitive matches.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just imagining, you know, I mean, I played a few games on the no water version. It's so hardcore.
Yeah, it's
um,
definitely a tough thing to deal with. I mean, it's such a small landmass having those galleys. It it can be very, very one-sided if, especially like we've seen, if players aren't really prepared, it can get very rough.
and we got the monkey in the zoo over here, man. This monkey is walled in.
Yeah,
The
Weasel
weasels.
gonna take care of that. This is a nice move, actually. It's a nice trap. It does the job. It gets rid of the monkey, and it is a nice little wall up for his economy here. It's not like it can be ranged if he's on this gold here or the wood line. So, and you know he's gonna play it open everywhere else. He's kind of hiding a barracks right now. So, the opponent though looks like he's got a barracks in the front. He's almost full walled up, and he's on his way to feudal, same as Weasel. So.
Yep, and it looks like no men at arms for either player. So, given these uptimes, kind of has to be archers.
Yeah, I don't see another way around it. Although it could, no, it's way too early. Way too early. Pop to be a FC attempt. So
Yep.
going on to gold. I imagine archers is the play.
Yep, I mean, we know Firescream likes archers. I would just guess that on most land maps, that's what he would open most often. To the contrary, Weasel does like his stable units, but I think that you know what, as I say it more, I think Weasel might actually still go stable.
Yep, there it is. Table's
Yeah.
there. But
Alright,
don't
so
dislike.
it might keep the archers home. It definitely won't do any damage. A stable for some sort of map control is fine. I guess it kind of signals that he wants to go knights. I mean, at this level, some players are just stable guys or range guys, and Firescream's a range guy, and Weasel is a stable guy, you know?
Yeah, I mean the one thing that I like about the scouts build here for Weasel is it will be a surprise. So his opponent, although he may have an idea that that will come in late game, when you're up against Malians, a scout opening is not that common. At least I don't believe it is. And I could be wrong, but I like it. It could be a bit of a surprise.
Yep, but at the same time, Firescream is full walled, so
Very true.
the most it can do is catch out some unexpected archers.
And Weasel actually attacks the range, and now the scouts will be seen. So he will pick off at least 2 scouts here with this, or 2 archers with these scouts. So
Yep,
not a bad
good
shot.
pick.
And Man-at-Arms already being teched into for Weasel as well, so he's gonna switch, it looks like.
Yep, now that he sees the archers, he wants to go for his Civ bonus. He wants those man-at-arms skulls, as they've never been called before.
Interestingly, he adds an archery range. The Man-at-Arms upgrade just feels like a waste of resources here if he's not going for it.
You know what? I kind of dig the one of each military building approach. You know, it's kind of just staying flexible. He's kind of a strong macro player for the bracket. You know, just having a strong eco, having a lot of researches, having a variety of things. I won't object to it. I don't think like these players are playing so clean that they need to be so tight that they can't afford to build, you know, a military building that they might never ever use.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the scouts are gonna attack a wall here, but I don't think they're gonna get in unless there's a hole. Is there a hole? Nope.
Can you click the... Okay, yeah, when you click the buildings in this case, it's quite clear that there's been a hole.
Yep. 3 years investment for Firescream. Again, the idle time for Firescreamtv a bit worse, and Weasel has the economic lead already here.
Yep, I would guess that the idle time is probably one of the biggest things holding Firescream back from being a higher level player. It's like probably my biggest problem too. But yeah, he's already lost himself 5 villagers from idle time alone. And I mean, there's just no build in which that's worth it, especially in a case like this where he hasn't really attacked the enemy in any meaningful way yet.
Yeah, I think all players between like, let's just say below 1400 have idle time as one of their number one issues. It's just, I mean, there are those pro macro players that lose games on decision making or lacking production buildings, things like that. But I feel like it's a pretty safe bet that if you're in that range, which is just below 1400, that idle TC is always kind of like a thorn in the side. Because you know it's a problem, but it's just so hard to fix.
Yep. Well, I know Firescream is a big-time streamer, so, you know, as he's grinding, I'm just trying to point out what I can. I imagine, you know, he plays a lot more than he spectates games, so seeing us watch this back and actually seeing that idle time might be a good opportunity for him to inspect his own play from a different perspective.
Yeah, and the archers are about to come in here. There's skirms, there's man-at-arms, and there's 2 scouts waiting to jump on this from behind. I mean, it's a nice time to attack, but
this is a good attack. These skirms have no upgrades. Archers with fletching, shred, skirms with no upgrades. The men-at-arms also don't have the armor, which is so important in these cases. I mean, getting the armor from Malians cuts the damage they take in half. And yeah, these archers are in on the wood line. This is ugly. Weasol is just running with everything, like 20 Vils idle here. The skirms are still being trickled in one at a time, kind of being wasted. Yeah, he just idled everything. Yeah, this is like almost GG damage. I'm not saying the GG will come in, but like taking this much damage almost guarantees the eventual loss.
11 kills on these few archers alone, 4 economy, the rest military, and Morville is going to go down here, and Weasel does still have the villager lead, but it's only by 1, and I mean, honestly, it's good for Weasel that he is in this position of an economy lead with this position, but obviously losing those vills, all this idle time, worker efficiency down to 42%. It's very, very rough.
Yep, the opponent's clicked up. Yeah, I mean, if you can do that much damage, that is how you overcome all the idle time.
This is oof.
Yeah,
Andrew, those are perfect words. This is oof. Love it.
Yep, and Firescream making the switch to infantry. I dig it, man. The swords line kind of counters everything that Weasel's doing. It's a very interesting infantry matchup in the long term. I kind of always love making Jags the Jaguar Warriors as Aztecs if you can get to them. Like, their bonus damage is so tremendous. I mean, I know that's like way far off in the future, but I like that Firescream is thinking infantry as Aztecs.
Yeah, and honestly, the Aztec infantry line is even more viable than ever. So, can't complain about that. And didn't they buff the production time for Jaguars?
Yeah, they like buffed the production time of every single infantry unique unit and like other little random things too. It wouldn't surprise me if the Jaguar Warrior is now like 1% faster with 3 more HP or something like that.
It's definitely nice. I mean, don't think they get supplies, but it's not the biggest of deals, especially if you are going unique unit, obviously. Few pickups here for Weasol, which is nice as he's forward and keeping the archers for Firescream at home. And again, the crossbow upgrade for Firescream queued behind a Vil. We've seen this a few times from him as well. He just doesn't want to on-queue the archers and it later. It's not really a big thing at the moment, but if this was archer v archer and upgrades were coming at the same time, but not crossbow, could have been a determining factor.
I will hear you saying he practiced the quick walls and quick houses for this tournament. Yeah, man, in early game, quick walls and houses are like absolutely OP as melee unit defense.
Yeah, quick walls, it's something that's fun, but flashy doesn't necessarily make up for what happens in the game, unfortunately. So
Yep. I assume he means walling like in your res. He's not talking about like the quick wall trip that you and Viper like to do.
oh, that me and Viper, so we're the only ones that do it.
You know what? I think it might be.
I love doing that, and people are always like, "What the hell is this shit?"
Yeah.
Crossbows coming in.
Firescream, oof. Weasel, man. He's kind of walled to the TC, but kind of not at the same time. As these crossbow just cruise right into the base, one-shotting these men-at-arms. Oh, man. They are idling so many farms right now. They're going to pick so many Vils, and I bet they're going to visit their old friends at the wood line again, too, man.
Yep, and the skirms are coming over with just fletching.
Yeah,
Firescream paying no attention. Okay, never mind, we're good.
Yep. Yeah, the crossbows should still own the skirms here, but the skirms are definitely a nice deterrent, and if microed properly, the fight actually could go either way. As Weasel actually waits for armor to engage, which I approve of, certainly.
Yeah, he'll be in the Castle Age too. Might even grab Elite Skirm. Has the wood for it, but I guess no market, so can't afford it.
Yep, very good timing attack by Weasel. Firescream went in there thinking these skirms were as weak as they were, 10 seconds ago, but to his surprise, the crossbow can't just plow through them like he had been.
Yeah, I mean, the problem here is there's still crossbows left in this archer, or this area is undefended, and this tower is desperation at its finest here, and Weasel will just delete it.
Oh boy. I mean, this economic damage is just tremendous. The score lead is broken away. Weasel's just investing everything in defense, only to still be so far behind in military and eco.
Yeah, and he didn't pull the Vils. He just kind of was like, well, I'm screwed here, so it's always rough.
Yep. And the Eagle follow-up, yeah, this is going to make it so difficult to stabilize. Castle Age Eagle raids are definitely a thing. The swordsmen are swarming the base, though, so Firescream will probably be dissuaded from continuing this.
Probably, but he's getting all the eco up or the military upgrades. We got arson, chainmail armor coming in. He already has foraging.
Yeah,
and we don't have longswords yet.
If he just spreads these across the base, even if they just, die to swords without... Ooh, this is not what you want your eagles to do. Though as I say that, the eagles are shredding.
Yeah, they're eagle warriors with almost full upgrades against +1 defense and man-at-arms. Castle Age versus Feudal Age, essentially. Now the longsword upgrade comes in. Luckily, there is a second TC here, but Weasel's Woodline and Gold still open.
Yep. Now this would be a great time for Weasel to build a TC on the wood. He'd need to quick wall the Vils in. I know it's not going to happen, but just saying.
Yeah, I think this looking very GG after all these raids, all the idle time, villagers going down. If all these vills
Yeah.
die, and he's fighting with them, so they will certainly die. Looks like
Yeah, this is
Firescream's gonna level the playing field. It will be a 1-1 there, no question.
Yep, Weasel knows it's over. I'm surprised even Q's more swordsman here. I kind of assumed he was just fighting with his last vills for fun before calling the GG.
Yeah, and it's only 24 economy at the moment. Looking very bad now. The Eagle raids, the archers in the woodline early. Should be enough for Weasel to realize he's not coming back from this one. Although it looks like he's going to continue and make his opponent kill him. And
Yep, I mean, he is a team game player, man. It's quite possible that he's not as familiar with the dynamics of a 1v1 game. With this score, I mean, 25 population at this phase of the game. Jesus, man. Maybe he thinks he's got a civ advantage or something.
yeah,
But this eco lead is just devastating.
for sure. And the score is pretty telling. He's be able to look at his pop and know, and then this Vil will not get this down, and more Eagles are in the economy. GG comes in.
Yeah, and what Weasel's saying there. So he actually messaged me in the middle of the set. The first game they played on this, Firescream ran his monkey into the TC, which is really bad on this map because you know exactly where the enemy's TC is from the start. It's always in the same position. And I only heard Weasel's side of the story. But as Weasel said it, the opponent quit after that. He described it as a rage quit. Perhaps it was like a reflexive snap quit or something. I don't know. But Weasel graciously allowed it to be replayed. I guess he kind of like ungraciously regretted that at the end of the game. But yeah, man, if your opponent rage quits, if they accidentally delete their TC, I mean, it should be a loss. I suppose at any point the players can both agree to play it again or something. I wouldn't encourage that.
Of course.
Um,
Weasel was too nice, like Funky said. Tournament, he should have been like, no, this is my game now. Should have been up 2-0 right now.
Yeah, he did contact the admin. He told me what happened.
After the fact. Right?
I guess I don't know if they hadn't restarted playing it again. I mean, he told it to me matter-of-factly. He wasn't telling me to ask for, like, rules guidance or anything like that.
Gotcha. Well, regardless, Weasel probably being too nice here. We're going to dive in game number 3 here, which will be on Banano grounds, and 5 seconds.
All right, 1 sec.
Why don't you do the intro this time?
For sure.
5?
Yes, sir.
3.
All right, so here we are on Banano grounds. I guess this is kind of the quintessential juicy Discord Arabia type map, variation on the classic Battlegrounds. In the blue over here, we have Firescream as the Indians, a somewhat underpicked, but I think everybody agrees strong pick on this map. I mean, cavalry play is extremely prominent, so the camels are good. Indians also have nice cav archers. Very nice Vil bonus as well. They're not especially unique unit reliant, and this map is a bit light on stone. So, yeah, all those are good things going in favor of the Indians. And on the other side, we have Weasel as the Mongols. As a resident of the Discord for much longer than Firescream, I would expect that Weasel is more familiar with the map. I expect he'll play the Dark Age smarter. Mongols are a pretty good choice. There's a ton of hunt on this map. If you're not just going for the hunt, the scout bonus doesn't matter. I was about to say the scout bonus is kind of useful here, but they have monkeys, not scouts. So yeah, I mean, it's honestly mostly just for the hunt bonus that Mongols are good. There's like probably like 5 times the standard amount of hunt on this map. You have to go out for it, but regardless, if you want to commit to like taking deer in feudal age, you can like out collect food from your opponent by 2 to 1. Like, I think it's pretty reasonable to actually just like mill 2 or 3 deer patches as your like feudal late castle strategy. Just plan maybe a little bit of spear defense or something, because like, yeah, you will literally out-collect your opponent by like 600 or 700 food or something. It's kind of bonkers. But
Yeah.
yeah, should be an interesting one. And I'll also note the TC spawn location matters a lot. I guess it shows how much I've practiced this map over time. Like, you can either spawn kind of on the edge or in the corner. The wood is juiciest in the corner, so that's where it's best to spawn. And additionally, you can kind of spawn close to the middle or far from the middle. If you're close to the middle, it's like a lot easier to run out to take resources, maybe run home, whatever. But both these players are spawned on the edge, pretty far from the middle. That's how it goes.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Weasel chose Mongols here, to be honest, because we have seen Mongols, which we assumed would be a favorite on this map because of the. Also, we assumed Franks would be a favorited div on here because of the berry bonus and all the extra berries, but Mongols and Franks have one of the worst win rates possible on these maps, which is kind of crazy. But there's not a lot of stone on this map. There's a ton of hunt, but getting castles and keeping castles is very difficult. And in the right number of crossbows or arbalest can take out cav archers and Mangadai, especially if the production is. So it's been a lot of fun to see Mongols played on this map, but I actually like Indians better here.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty even Civ matchup. I don't think that there will be a Civ win or anything either way. Yeah, the Indian Civ bonus is probably a lot more relevant. Most people actually aren't that bold with going out for the extra hunt. Normally you can lure like an extra few ores if you do some good scouting and you get like the early loom, which I see Firescream getting. It's not super early. Yeah. And I will heal you asking about the build. How early do you go out for the extra mills? I actually try to go out in early Dark Age and tend to run home as soon as the opponent hits feudal.
Yeah, and Weasel's built 2 mills here. The first mill, I absolutely despise. There's only 2 deer near your town center. You go out, these are patches of 6, 7 deer, plus usually a boar nearby. You're gonna drop mill for deer, don't drop it in your base where there's only 2. If anything, push those or save those for later and go towards the mid early to get them. I mean, Weasel's already done. He's on his way up, which is spectacular, but so is his opponent.
Yeah, man, these are mills you should build later. I mean, there's a lot of free food in the center that's safe to take now that isn't going to be safe to take in a few minutes. Perhaps you should have milled some of that. I don't know. But yeah, milling just 2 deer is not recommended under any circumstance, basically.
Firescream survives with the monkey under the TC here by only 2 HP, and Weasel gonna now drop his barracks. So the wall's coming up here for Firescream. Very tight, very, very tight walls. Let's see how this works out here. There's a very particularly stable all-in.
Yeah, I mean, like, the strategy that I was alluding to, where, like, the Mongols can hypothetically just, balls out, take the hunt in the middle and feudal, is not... I mean, I guess I've done it in some practice games and stuff, but in a tournament game where people are going to have their scouts out and micro them really hard, it's kind of scary to think about taking that deer and feudal in the middle, unless you're pressuring your opponent so hard that they can't conceivably attack back.
Yeah. And honestly, the hunt in the middle, it's not like it's going to go anywhere. So you go out early, grab a few, and then have to run back. You can always go back out whenever you drop TCs and grab it. But we'll see how this works out. I mean, Weasel is going for a stable. Wouldn't be too surprised if he goes for multiple stables, but he doesn't have the wood for that right now. And his build is very nice. I believe it was an 18 pop-up. Maybe it was 20 pop-up. Either way.
But his food, man. He's relying on these non-renewable foods, these berries, these sheep. He's got no farms. I guess he's just... Alright, he's just going for it, man.
Yeah, and I like this, actually. This is what she would have done with his first meal. Dropped it out here. This is a lot of hunt. There are... Not 14, I clicked all of them. 2, 3, 7 deer here and a boar. This is tons of free food.
Yeah. I mean, in the practice games when I've done it, if you just like are unafraid and take the extra food in the middle, it's just insane, your food income. I feel like if you're taking so much food, you can almost afford to lose. Oh my god, he's going for the boar. You can almost afford to lose a few vills, and your total resources collected will still be greater than your opponent. So it's almost acceptable to trade vills for the privilege of taking the deer in the middle. But what do I know?
Yeah, and now this is a thing that's really unfortunate for Weasol here, as we're going to check his scouting. He knows his opponent is over here. He did not scout his opponent's base very well, and does not know that he is coming up against a pretty much full-walled player who may or may not quick wall this, I guess. Guessing he won't. There's quite a few houses here. So Weasol may be rewarded, but he has to send those in, actually. Wait and see here. And he is going 2 stables on. Weasol adding farms, going 2 stables here. Scouts.
Sorry
idle.
about the dogs.
Brace, didn't even hear him that time, actually. Scouts are idle, though. Monkey is going to attack a wall.
Yeah, I like what he's doing with the scouts. I mean, on this map, even if your opponent's full walled, I personally recommend creating 3 scouts just to make sure their walls don't have any holes, to take a little map control, to be able to poke their walls. It just feels too helpless to, wall up an FC with 0 military.
Yep, scouts do get in here. The wood lines are all downhill strikes, but Weasol unable to deliver on any of those, as the whole wood line will run. Doesn't look like he'll even lose a single vill. Should make it back just fine. Well, actually gets one. Gonna sacrifice all 3 scouts for 1 vill. Not my favorite move, but he is gonna have more scouts behind this. He is in the middle on the deer and falling up at home, so very interesting position altogether.
This map is the same as Battlegrounds with a monkey, yeah.
Yeah, slight change with a monkey scout, and we changed the name.
Yeah, you know what? I think that those changes get their mileage, though, man. I mean, for the majority of participants, these are brand new maps.
Yeah, it's really interesting, actually, because a lot of people have come in, and there's been very, very little talk about the maps, which is kind of interesting. When we first came out with these and had the brackets and everything going, there was a lot of things we had to fix with them, obviously, in the beginning, but hasn't been a whole lot. I think Tech Chariot's the only one that really has been reaching out about potential map scripting changes.
Yeah, Tech Chariot is a map perfectionist, but at the same time, he says that he appreciates the imperfections. I don't know, man. I think that, like, 1v1 random map, and when I say random map, I don't just mean the game mode. I mean, like, you know, there's many aspects of it that are random, is kind of like, you know, the pure form of the game.
Yeah.
And the imperfections just make it interesting, you know? The fact that you might have a slightly broken generation, so long as it's not, like, completely unfair and, you know, abusable to the point where you can absolutely force a win, I like it.
Yeah, it's definitely nice. I mean, we've done a lot with these maps, and actually there's a Discord, the Russian Discord, that has straight up played some of these maps as full tournaments on those maps, which is interesting. But they've gone for more of those arena style maps that we have here, so very interesting. But good to see that people are using them and.
Yep, as long as your bills don't spawn in wood lines. Okay, maybe I should make the suggested change. He says that there's a single line that I can add to the map script to prevent that.
That would probably be beneficial. That was the Arabia game between... Was it I Will Heal You?
Yep.
Yeah. No wonder he wants the change made.
Hey, you know what? Back in the day, I actually had a spawn like that, and I played it out, and the Waldenville, you know, was some nice secret safe eco, you know?
Didn't collect a lot of wood, but...
I think there was actually, like, stone. He was, like, trapped in a forest against the edge of the map, but there was, like, some good resource to take.
Can't argue with that. Alright, so Castle Age on its way for Firescream. He's gone for a few archers. not exactly traditional with Indians, but all in all, they do get crossbow. They could transition into cav archers, so the upgrades coming in for fletching always beneficial, especially with a civ that has a unique unit that is an archer, elephant archer, but
Yep. Firescream with his trademark 1,000 range build here.
yeah, he actually dropped this palisade gate or palisade wall and had to rebuild it almost instantly, or else all these scouts would have been in. It would have been devastating. Weasol did get the value out of these middle food collecting vills, has collected all that, and is going to be moving forward. The archers coming forward here. Oh, I feel like this is too soon. Should have waited for crossbow.
Probably, as he gets armor.
Yeah,
I guess he has the
Weasol-
res to afford crossbow and bodkin still.
Weasol will have skirms and one scout here to try to persuade this away, and is just going to send more scouts here. It is going to be cav archers, so 2 range cav archers, or 3 range cav archers. He was up first. He will have some time to mass them. I actually really think that's a good play. Obviously,
Yep, he's got them queued up nicely.
Obviously an issue though if you're getting Mongol player to go cav archers, since they do attack 25% faster as cav archers. I think Weasel's gonna go for some sort of a push over here. Why are all these vills all over here?
Yeah, if he was like lucky enough to have them survive their hunting, I would have taken the opportunity to drop a TC in the mid.
I 100% agree. He's actually gonna drop a mining camp onto a stone pile.
With one tile.
So, he's looking for these archers for the scouts that are remaining, though.
Should find him.
Yep, and we will have Bodkin Arrow, Husbandry, and Thumbring. So is this Cav Archers here as well? It is Cav Archers.
100%, man, yeah.
So.
That is the Cav Archer upgrade set right there.
Yep. Town Center number 2 coming up in the corner for Firescream, so he's well aware of the wood line over here. And this is a nice TC because it's kind of out from your base, but it's not in the middle, so it may go unnoticed.
Yep, and that's huge for Weasel to get Husbandry. It's like such an essential upgrade for Cav Archers, especially if they're dancing with enemy mounted units. And yeah, man, Weasel, he should have done the TC. This is he was lucky enough to last out here to take the hunt, but he pressed his luck and just kept these vills exposed, and you know, this was inevitably going to happen.
Yep, good numbers of Cav Archers already, 12 to just 3 is 3 range production against 2 range production. Weasel also getting +2 defense for Cav, so not sure unless maybe he's planning on going light Cav.
I hope he doesn't think that affects Cav Archers.
Yeah, he may not know. I don't know if he's aware of that. I don't think I've ever seen Weasel go Cav Archers before, to be honest. So
well, he knew to get Thumbring and Husbandry, which I don't believe Firescream got either of.
no, his Cav Archers are definitely slower, and this is a terrible exchange for him as he walks right into the Scouts and the CA and loses quite a few of them for next to nothing. So the military advantage still in favor for Weasel here, but Cav Archer numbers going down that quickly is a painful thing. You cannot lose that mass. Husbandry now going to be coming in here, and Weasel is going to keep with the 2 range production. No ballistics just yet. No bloodlines for Firescreamtv there, so Cav Archers with 50 HP against Cav Archers with 70 HP. Not going to be a fair fight whatsoever.
Yep. And Weasel is starting to slip in the Vil count too. I guess that's just another reason why it would have been good to slam a TC in the middle. He's got the economy to be queuing Vil's 2 TCs across. As you see, he has 6 queued in his 1. I mean, booming up in eco is just so fundamental. He's got to get that second TC down fast, or else he is going to fall deeply behind in Vils.
Well, that, and he went for a university. Unable to click ballistics. Does not have vills on gold. Well, he has 6 vills on gold.
I think that he just finished the gold in his base, basically.
Oh yeah, here it is. It was in the walls. Can't see it. So he is going to now go out for this town center. So he is thinking about moving to the mid here. Cav archers. Oh, Weasel gets lucky here in the north. Cav archers are going to find some damage here, and maybe not kill but 1 vill. But he is going to see the switch into camels, and is aware of the second TC now, and 2 vills in the north code. Well, so villager count very equal now.
Yeah, as an arena player, I absolutely hate playing this map. I don't know how to keep my vills safe. I tend to try to wall my starting base, plus have all my other vills able to garrison inside of TCs. But with all this cavalry always running around the map, pickoffs like what you just saw are also common.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I have played this map 100 times. I still don't know how to play it properly. Like you said, how do you keep vills safe here? You just don't. That's the problem. I mean, and I've tried Indians, Mongols, so many civs. Khmer probably the safest civ on this map just because of the house bonus, but it's still not really what you want to do.
Yep, I am curious how the open bracket plays this, because I feel like in the Battlegrounds tournament, when we saw the 1650 bracket or whatever it was, they went for completely different builds than the lower brackets. I remember seeing eagles and archers and stuff. It's possible that this whole idea that Cav is the dominant play here might be false.
Yeah, we've seen archers succeed quite a few times actually, and it's been kind of interesting because it's not looking like a very friendly archer map when you look at it at first glance, but you have to boom up and stay safe at home. You move out with archers that you can start massing in the feudal age. It can be quite a nice strategy here, and I think we only saw Mesocivs a handful of times, even, and this game's been out, we've had this map out for, I feel like it's been 2 years, but maybe it's only been a year, and we've only seen Mesocivs a handful of times.
Yep, and seeing this castle come down reminds me of how the late game tends to look. Castles to defend your eco in the middle is kind of the mainstay, is this a doubt castle? Looks like it.
Yep, and the skirms that are not elite, Cav archers will have to come back with a few knights. This will eventually go up, I think, because this is a lot of military to deal with on both sides. But then again, we do have a military advantage for Firescream.
Yep, and his military is almost pure Cav archers, which is possibly one of the units that scales best as your numbers get up. I think it might be accurate to say that it gets exponentially stronger the more you have, and he's winning this fight, looking exponentially stronger than his opponent as Weasel commits to the Doubt Castle.
He's gonna get it up. Just barely. Just barely. He lost a lot of ills, and I mean a lot of ills there, but all in all, he will get that position he wanted, and he will have to get his military count back. Still no ballistics. Not sure that one was worth it.
Yep, well, he's queuing some Mangadai now. It is kind of strictly superior to Cav archers if he's able to get up the numbers. But it is just dubious because long-term castles is tough on this map. 3 or 4 is the maximum you can get in total. If you have to repair a bunch or sell some stone, you might not even be able to get that. It's just a risky map to go for, unique unit builds that require such strong commitment like Mangadai.
Yep, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can get those numbers up, and I really don't know how he's going to compete with this, because right now his economy is such a bad place after forcing that castle up. I mean, the Mangadai is doing a great job here, and if he can get it masked up, other than Frank Paladin, I think Mangadai are probably one of the most preferred unique.
Oh yeah, I mean, back in the day, I don't know if the balance has changed much. I experimented with like basically just trying to get a mono army of every single unique unit, and Mangadai was definitely the best one.
Yeah, I mean, Frang Paladin aren't a unique unit, but they are the best Paladin in the game, so you have to give credit where credit is due. But definitely Mangadai, super powerful. Weasel starting to mix in some light cav as well, so he will go light cav, the cav archer Mangadai mix. Weasel is going to get his third town center down, so he is going to try to expand the economy a bit. He is down by 20 vills.
Yeah, he's outboomed, but not hopelessly so. Getting down this third TC, it will help in that regard a lot.
Ballistics now coming in, which is good, and Siege Workshop as well, because he saw the third town center here for Firescream, so he knows he's up against 3 TCs. Castle gonna come up here for Firescream in a good position as well, and Firescream's economy is so good he's gonna be clicking to the Imperial Age soon, and it will be very difficult to deal with this unless Weasel can put some damage in now, as he's just passing 4 villagers, and he's going to run right into the military here. No reaction just yet. Weasel is now reacting. Oof. Oof.
Yeah, this is devastating. He's throwing his whole army. The players are kind of getting up these kissing castles here, which so heavily favors whichever player gets to imp first, which appears to be Firescream. I can only imagine that Weasel's going to get his castle trap down, all of his eco here will be exposed, and I think Firescream is going to run him over an early imp.
Now Weasel trying to do some raiding with a few light cav right now, but all in all, even if he kills 20 vills here, it doesn't really matter, because Imperial Age is forever away for Weasel, and as soon as this castle goes down, Krebs could go forward and just be in such a bad spot.
Yeah, Weasel just can't keep playing this straight. He's going to have to bust something out at this point. Maybe a ram rush? Is that what he has?
Yeah,
in the
he's
siege
going
workshop?
for 4 rams.
I dig it. I dig it for sure. Yep, if you're slower to imp, oh yeah, and he's waiting to show them, this is actually great.
Yeah, it's a good play. We'll see if he gets enough mass. He's going to need some more CA, though. Or Mangadai. I think he's going to have to answer this attack coming towards his base. 23 cav archers headed in. The light cav are no longer capable of getting in the corner over here. Waiting for that ram rush now.
I think 5 rams would be enough here, as the stables come up for Firescream, so this is his chance now. If he can unleash those rams while there's no non-ranged units around. I mean, taking out that castle would just completely neuter Firescream's Imperial time. Or Imperial, like, power spike.
Yeah, Weasel is taking a decent exchange over here. It's a pretty fair exchange, but outnumbered. So this will not be the greatest of exchanges.
No, but he's kind of cornered, so he just does have to trade arrows, I guess.
Yeah, and obviously he's probably not aware, because the score actually has him ahead. Probably did not notice that it score of Firescream dropped, and now is in Imperial Age. So, does have a decent mass of CA coming back. He needs to go with the Rams. He's going to go with them soon.
Yep, as Firescream cues Trebs, but no Imperial technologies to start.
Don't mind that, actually. I think he needs to get Bracer, but Trebs obviously the most important.
Yep, and did Weasel forget about these Rams, man? This is so huge. If he had unleashed those on the castle, he could have denied the Trebs. He would have, like, kind of opened up Firescream's eco in the mid. Instead, those Rams, man, they're just chilling in the Siege Workshop.
Yeah, they're going forward now.
Coming out for the fresh castle. I dig it, I dig it. Though, if he went for the other castle, he could get some pot shots on the Treb, which would be nice.
Yeah, Rams going to not deny the castle. He does have a nice bit of army coming to clean up the army behind. There are camels added here, though. These Rams aren't going to be enough to kill this. for sure.
Yeah, without the camels, they would have done it, but with the camels, I mean, you know, just a few melee units completely change this balance here.
Yep, heavy CA in now for Firescream. Weasel's still not up. Weasel's gonna lose his castle. No more Mangadai gonna be available. And
he's got his gather point for the stables under the enemy castle. I don't know if that's desperation or just a mistake, but that hurts to see.
yeah, and now we have Firescream going into the light cap as well. So we have Imp clicked. So Weasel's not dead, but it's gonna be hard to hold this position on the middle, which has all of the gold stones on the map. So
Yep, as he's choosing to dive a castle versus Imperial army. You don't want to fight an Imperial army underneath a castle with half of your castle age units. Oh boy.
yeah, he's gonna take the trebs though. I like taking the trebs. I don't like fighting the army.
Yeah, take the trebs and get out of here for sure. You just can't trade cost effectively underneath a castle.
He's gonna stay. It looks like nope. He pulls off now. Bills. I don't know where they're going. He's spending a lot of bills for it. I don't know why. But
Well,
on his way.
Weasel, he has some good gold under his TC in the middle. He's not desperate for gold. As he rebuilds his castle, ooh, that feels bad, man. I don't know if he's going to be any better able to defend this one than the last.
Yeah, I mean, he did take out the trebs, so he's got some time. He wants to keep making the Mangadai, and he's going forward with stables in the corner here.
I like it.
Weasel pausing. We know they had some scheduling things going on.
Yep. Weasel perhaps shouldn't be revealing that he's on a tight clock. If Firescream really wanted to be cutthroat, then he could draw the game out.
Yeah, for sure. And we have a decent army mass for Weasel here. It is a lot weaker, and Firescream is being allowed some time to build this up here. I saw Parthenian Tactics, I saw Heavy Cav Archer, I see Chemistry. We know he has all the other upgrades except for Bracer and the other two defensive upgrades. Will be Hussar chosen here, as there's good chances for raiding, but I don't know. Weasel is just starting to produce them here, so. And
Yeah,
fighting the castle hurts.
I would assume Firescream believes that he has a Bracer in. It's like literally the most critical upgrade. It would like make all of his units more effective, plus the castles, plus the TCs here.
Yeah, nice castle hop even. And Weasel's doing everything he can to try to hold off any forward attacks. He's doing a good job keeping Firescream dealt with right now. But Firescream has those upgrades. He's keeping his numbers alive more successfully, not fighting under enemy castle fire. And this military just is slowly going to drain Weasel's economy here.
Yeah, I mean, Weasel is, you know, it's okay to fight under castles if you're like, you know, killing expensive units or simultaneously hitting them with trebs. But in this case, I mean, he's just fighting a fight he can't win. No matter what, Weasel's forces will get horribly wrecked by the castles, and without siege to back it up, I mean, he just outright cannot push the position.
Yeah, and we do have a few nice little raids going on back here, but there are Heavy CA and Hussar soon to be on the way for Firescream. So a few Vil kills aren't really going to trade off too effectively. Fortunately for Weasel, trebs are just now being queued, so we'll have some time.
Yeah, and Weasel has actually almost like double the effective economy so long as Firescream's staying idle like this. Like, he's actually ahead 20 Vils, plus another 20 idle. He's behind in tech. He's behind a bit in army. He's behind a bit in position with Firescream having the center more heavily castled up. But Weasel actually has a very clear economy lead here.
Yeah, definitely. And, I mean, if it wasn't for the bad fights under the castles, I think he could have done a lot better with his military numbers, especially if he would have put trebs behind everything, or even continued with the ram play. But no trebs at all for Weasel thus far, and we have another treb out already here. for Firescream, so he's really trying to press his advantage with taking out castles, and Bracer is now in for both players, actually.
Good bracer, good bracer. Firescream forgetting to keep the Weasels queued up. Weasel's going to have such a better late game if he can actually get the pop all the way up. Like, with 96 Vills, if that's actually where you're staying, it's only a matter of time before your enemy has a much larger military on the field. As another Treb is kind of offered up to the Hussar here.
Yeah, I mean, the problem that I see now is no siege. No siege for Weasel. He came with the ram push, did a good job. It was a nice try, but now again he's losing his military. Here it is, heavy CA against just CA. There are upgrades for both, but heavy CA will definitely win that fight. 10 more HP. They have more attack, more armor.
Yeah, and Firescream, I thought that he was a good macro player. I assume that he will queue more Vills at some point. He just needs a reminder.
Yeah, and we do have a ram push coming to the economy here, it looks like, for Weasel. What is it like we're speaking a foreign language for not their tech? Cav archers. Cav archers? Of course. But no siege for Weasel, and this is really concerning. He is starting to make rams to push on main economy, not push the castles. So,
well, you know, man, I like the side attack. You can really gut the eco. You know, if this main battle is in a sort of standstill, but Weasel is, you know, streaming a few units into the enemy eco, especially if Firescream's not repopping his Vills, I like this a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, Tech Cherry, this is Banana Grounds. Much different from when you and I played it. As far as what players have chosen to go for. But yeah, I think Weasel's losing too much military in not the right places, and he's not made a single trebuchet, and I really worry about how long he can outlast even with this villager advantage. He has 0 on gold right now. He's dropped a castle on this side. It doesn't really give him anything.
Yep. And Firescream is actually doing the Vills now too. So I guess the biggest thing Weasel had going for him might soon disappear, as his side attack looks like it's kind of been neutralized as well. Firescream I thought was going to clean up those buildings, but it appears to be just redirecting everything to the middle.
Yep, and Weasel's going to have no access to gold. There's some stone he could take over there, but it's super risky. Gold in front of his town center, but there are castles here. The military's here for Firescreamtv. And the villager count is slowly getting more and more equalized.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this map might have the least golden stone of any like non-mega random map I've ever seen, which is fine. You know, it's enough for players to tech into anything and get pop cap making anything, but you kind of can't afford to tech switch, and it kind of gets into the post-gold phase very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, Weasel doing a good job with these raids now. He's keeping his villager advantage at a good spot, but the problem is he's not able to push this army. He's going full Hussar spam right now, not producing any Mangdai, not producing any CA. Heavy CA fully upgraded. I think they're just missing the unique tech for Indians, which gives them more HP. Not more HP. What is their unique tech? Is it more HP?
Indians have the faster gold income, and they have +1 range for hand cannons.
Okay, so Sultans. I don't know if he got Sultans, but he does have the map control for gold, and Weasel is doing a good job here breaking into the economy. He does have rams here. He has killed a lot of eco, but the main resources that are needed right now are all being consumed in the middle of the map, and we have Firescream pushing the middle of the map, idling a 14 Vills for Weasel.
Yeah, I mean, I think fundamentally it's gold access now. Firescreamtv is going to be able to maintain a gold comp, including Trebs, probably most notably of all, for a much longer time. And Weasel is tapped out, man. He's got almost no gold units, zero gold income. He's basically resigned to Hussar spam, which can do some work, but I don't think we'll do enough here.
And his attack on the side here getting cleaned up with a mix of Hussar and now Camels. And he's just spamming everything to die right now. There's the CA numbers, the heavy CA numbers are still alive for Firescreamtv. He does have Trebuchets out. He's only got one remaining right now. As Weasel actually took out this castle with a ram, Weasel's going to call GG. And then, as you guys see, Weasel say, good luck next, have to go to work. These players were sadly not able to schedule another time. And we actually is drawing from the tournament after this game, which is disappointing. But
yep. Do you have the meme handy by any chance?
Wrong meme.
Yeah. I don't know. Weasel kind of reluctantly entered the tournament. He was getting kind of pumped about it. But, I think that if he was more of a 1v1 player, he would have found the time to reschedule this. He lost the will to fight at this point in the series, I would say.
Yeah, and there's a lot going on in life, and I get if you can't make the time. Fortunately, we only get a 3-game set here. Weasel is calling it. It's a real shame. I think he had a good shot here, was doing a good job, had some good games. Firescream, honestly, should have been down 2-1 here.
Yeah, Weasel gifted him that, man, and these were pretty even. I think that Weasel was winning the set, but, Firescream's a 1v1 grinder, and Weasel's a team game player. And in the next match, the winner of this one, Firescream, is going to be facing another 1v1 grinder, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, and we'll take a quick look at the statistics, and then we'll show you guys the bracket. We will update it as well, so if you're looking to avoid spoilers, you should probably not pay attention to the next few minutes, but that to your discretion.